Hello and welcome to the Otakuology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike, and with me as always is Jin. And Jin, I have a question for you today.
No, I'm not one of those mechy thingies.
No, my question was, did you feel the hurricane? Touch the hurricane?
I hate you right now. You made me think of the good dinosaur.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You want me to do the line?
Okay.
Hey man, don't fuck with me. I've seen the eye.
Today we are talking about...
You can't recover from that one.
I can't. Today we are talking about Bubblegum Crisis Episode 1. Bubblegum Crisis is a 8-part OVA, and it was produced in 1987 to 1991. This anime is considered a classic to a lot of people. It was actually produced by Umix, and you'll happen to know what Umix made, Jen. Umix
What?
made Writing Bean.
I've seen that.
The anime. And guess what?
What?
Our boy Kenichi Soda, he did the character designs for this show because he was the creator of Writing Bean.
That's funny.
He did not write this show at all.
I could see that.
But I wanted to ask you, what do you have any experience with Bubblegum Crisis, or is this your first time watching it?
Well, the only experience with Bubblegum Crisis that I've had before was that one time when you got gum stuck in your hair, and it was a crisis. No. I think the only thing is that I know about this really is that you really like it.
I do.
So
I do.
And you've talked about it before, but not that I know anything about. So
I haven't watched this show in a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while and I forgot.
Were you just about to say I haven't rewatched this show in a while?
I haven't rewatched this show in a
You
while.
dick.
I haven't rewatched this show in a while, and I forgot a lot about like what happens in it.
Can we advertise this in Gungrave as the anime that I know everything about and the anime that you know everything about?
I don't know if I know everything about Bubblegum Crisis.
We can lie. We can lie. That's 50% of the job anyway.
I don't know everything about Bubblegum Crisis, but I am looking forward to talking about this because I love me some old anime. I love it.
Yeah, you do.
I love it. I love it. I just want to bounce it and cup it and touch it and bop it and squeeze it.
I'm confused of where we're going.
We're not going anywhere.
I was like, I need an adult.
But yeah, and I thought we could cover this episode by episode because it is such a short series.
Yeah.
And get into it. And today we were talking about episode 1, Tassel City.
Tassel.
Which I have to say, I love the opening to this.
I'm going to get you.
Series.
I'm going to get you. It's Tinsel City.
Is it Tinsel City?
Yeah, you said that, and I was like...
I said Tassel City? Tinsel City, yeah, that's what it is.
I was like, every fucking time we talk about this, you always call it Tassel City, and I was like, wait, that's not right. That's not right.
Tinsel City. And,
like Tinsel Town.
Yeah, a little bit. But a little preface to, like, I guess the setup to this world. It's a very cyberpunky-esque world. This corporation called Ginma, it basically runs a lot of the city. It's like a big powerhouse, like corporation. And they have these things called boomers. And boomers have been going wild and rampant and having episodes in the city. We do have the AD police who try to take care of this, but to no avail. They're not doing a very good job.
Yeah.
And which like boomers are kind of like supposed to be there. From what I remember, is to like help society in a way,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. But this story starts out where we get like this nice like cityscape. We go in through, we've in and out of different parts of the city. Some parts are more worse than others, and we end up at this place where it's called I believe it's called Hot Legs is what it's called. It's a nightclub, and
Yeah.
we see that our one of our characters named Pris getting ready for a performance. She's a singer, and she is part of Pris and the Replicants. She's the lead singer, and I just have to say, I love this song. I love it. I jam out to it all the time
Oh my god.
in the car. Uh, I
In
feel
the
the
car.
I feel the hurricane. Okay.
Oh
Oh
my
no, it's
god.
on my Spotify playlist.
Oh my god.
I have an anime playlist, and this song's on it.
I tried to use my Shazam or whatever to like listen to it, and it was like could not find. And I was like, well,
I mean, just go on Spotify and type in Bubblegum Crisis. You'll find it easily.
yeah.
It's not that hard to find.
You know, the other bad thing is every time they say boomer, I think of like an older person.
I do too. I do too.
And I was like, oh, I need you to change what you guys call them. Just something else.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but it's funny to think about. Like, they're using a slang term for like robots,
Yeah.
essentially. But it's funny because we don't use that. We use it for like old people, you know?
Yeah.
But as this concert is happening, we get this boomer. He basically starts going on a rampage. The 80 police show up. This whole concert interwoven into this battle that the 80 police are having is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen animated, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Like it fits so well, in my opinion. Like the music, the animation, everything, everything comes together in this opening, which I love. As this is going on, there is, might I say, there is a animation flub in this when the 80 police are fighting the boomer. What do you remember the scene where the 80 police officer like runs the truck into the boomer?
Yeah.
So he shoots a gun, but the window never breaks.
That's true.
Let me ask you, what did you think of this opening?
I think I was mostly stuck on the song.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah. I just enjoyed it too.
You enjoyed it too, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel. Go ahead.
I feel like it really kind of like killed me like the first part because I'd be like, oh man, that's a really cool police car, and then it blows up, and I was like,
Up.
all right, well I guess I can't like anything in this anime because it'll just either end up dying or it'll blow up. Who knows?
Well, the thing is, like the 80 police aren't very good at their jobs because there's so much like bureaucracy and red tape that they have to jump through in this anime that like they can't, from what I remember, fully do their jobs properly. And that's why our titular characters, the main characters in this show, come about and become vigilantes, or I guess you could say mercenaries in a sense.
Yeah.
In this show, but yeah, it happens. You know, the big event happens, and the boomer goes crazy. And it's a new type of boomer that we find out. It's a new type of model.
Yeah, that looks like Optimus Primal almost.
I got more Terminator 2 vibes from it, honestly. Like more like Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator kind of. I don't know if I would go with Optimus Primal. He was like a monkey guy.
Yeah, he was a big gorilla, but when he stood up, he kind of looked the same.
I don't think so.
I feel like it was.
Okay, well, we'll have to agree to disagree on this, to be honest.
No, we'll agree that.
No, we are not. We are not.
Yeah,
agreeing.
we will.
We are not agreeing.
I'm putting red tape on you then. Whoop,
But
whoop,
I
whoop.
love this, like the fight scenes in this at this moment, because it's intercut with like showing us the Knight Sabers throughout this anime.
Yeah.
At this moment, like we get like glimpses of their armor, glimpses of them putting it on and stuff like that and whatnot. What did you think of when the Knight Sabers actually showed up?
Uh, First, I didn't really know anything to say.
I mean, it does kind of just
It's
drop you into this world.
yeah. Well, like you get these people in armor that you don't really know who they are because it's
Mhm.
just them in their armor. It would be like watching Power Rangers and never knowing like the backstory of anybody or
Yeah.
who it's supposed to be,
Hmm.
and you're just like, yeah, the Red Ranger. So all I could be like, yeah,
Well,
the light blue
the
one,
blue one.
the one with the pink pants, the lime green one, like
Yeah.
that's really all you could do at the beginning because you didn't know who anybody really was.
No, you don't. And that's why I feel like is a little bit of a detriment to this first episode.
Yeah,
You don't really know anything about the Night Sabers, to say the least. Like, Pris. Pris is like an up and coming rock star. You know,
you didn't even know that though. That was the thing though. Like based off of like the cover
uh-huh.
or like art, like you could tell, but like even though she was the person that was singing, you could kind of go, yeah, maybe she's in that.
Yeah.
But she also doesn't look how she regularly does
Yeah,
because
she
she's
wears
in
a wig.
she's in pop mode.
Yeah.
And so, like, to try and put two and two together seems even harder because then you're
Hmm.
like, wait, that's not the same person. Oh, but it
It is
is.
the same person. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a Hannah Montana before Hannah Montana almost. Except people know who she is in this anime.
yeah,
Like they know who Pris is. Like, and she's like a rock star and stuff, which is funny to
yeah,
think about. But yeah, they end up taking this boomer down and really good succession. And they find out that it's a new boomer and stuff like that. And the 80 police, I believe they get a hold of it, if I remember correctly. I think they get a hold of it. And we move on to the next part, which we see Cilia. Cilia is swimming in a pool, and she starts getting flashes from when she was a child with her brother Mackie. And we find out that her dad hasn't been home in a week. They're worried, where's her mom? That's what I want to know. Like, what happened to her mom? Is Celia's dad like a single parent?
you know what happened to her.
She anime died. She got that anime disease.
She was that female character from oh, what was it? We watched it like after Riding Bean 2. It was because we watched the first and the second. They were like short movies.
I don't remember.
Metro City.
Megazone?
Yeah, and there's two of them.
Yeah, we didn't watch the second one. We watched the first one.
I feel like we watched the second one
No,
too.
we haven't watched the second one yet. I keep wanting to watch it, but we keep putting it off.
I don't know. Whatever we watched, it was somebody with like rollerblades, and then they kidnapped a girl,
Oh, I don't remember.
and the girl could be the mom.
Maybe. Was it
Kidnapped.
Goku Midnight Eye?
Yeah, that's probably
I
it.
can't remember now. Oh God.
That's probably it.
Maybe.
Because didn't we watch 1 and 2 of that?
Yeah, we did episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah, then it's probably that.
Probably Goku Midnight Eye. But yeah, we find this out. Like, her dad has been at the office a lot. And we find out that her dad is one of the people responsible for making the boomers. And sadly, her dad dies in a tragic fire. And we get this scene where she gets this. It looks like a VHS tape, but they call it a data tape.
Right.
which I was like, huh, okay, we'll just go with that, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
that's how I feel like, because I was like, oh yeah, I know what that is.
but we get Celia gets all this information about the boomers, about the hard suits, which that's what the armor is that they wear. It's called hard suits. And she ends up actually making the hard suits. And because
Yeah,
she's is a they don't tell you this right away. She's like a very successful, she designs like clothes, like lingerie,
yeah.
and she has her own lingerie shop called Silky. Is it Silky Body? I can't remember exactly what it was called. Exactly, I forget off the top of my head.
I can't remember either. It's on the side of their little
It's on the
bus.
side of the bus, yeah, that they
Yeah.
drive around in.
You
And
think somebody could put two and two together on that though?
you think so, but I feel like they have a very good base of operations.
Yeah.
I say that, I'm using quotations. They use the lingerie shop as a hideout, which I think is very hysterical.
Do they leave or do they live in the back of the lingerie shop?
No, I think only Cilia does,
Okay,
if I remember correctly.
because they have like that big skyrise thing, and so when they showed the front of the store for a second, I was like, that doesn't look like that would
Or
be the same
maybe they
spot.
went to Cilia's house or something. I don't know exactly.
Maybe, maybe. But can we talk about that brother sister love for
Okay,
a
okay.
second?
So yeah. So we move on to the next scene to where Cilia, she wakes up, she's getting ready, she's having her morning coffee and stuff like that. She's reading
This was
newspaper.
like this is after like when we saw them as kids.
Yeah, this is after we saw them as kids. It's like the next. It's
We
after the
we hadn't
flashback.
we hadn't been to the lingerie shop yet.
We haven't been. We haven't. Okay, we haven't. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's
Um,
after this.
but we we get this scene where she's in like some like negligee. I think she has like a robe on, and she's
Yeah,
sitting there reading a newspaper. And her brother, is it Mika?
Mackie.
Mackie comes in, and he's younger than her. And he's like, hey sis, look at this. Did you read the newspaper? And the it's like the Universal United Space Federation ends up putting this ad in the paper for the Knight Sabers to help them with something, help them with the job. And she's reading this paper. She's like, oh, look, we got hired to do something. Because normally it's like more vigilante work that they do.
Yeah, yeah,
It seems like. And so she's like reading it, and he basically he has a nosebleed, but he doesn't have a nosebleed. Like he's like staring at her and gawking at her.
yeah. Her
And
robe kind of comes open a little
yeah,
bit.
and I was like, I totally forgot this was in the anime.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would have had such a problem with it if it
Uh-huh.
was like maybe a kid that was like adopted into her family or something.
I
But I'm
I
like,
I don't remember. I think you might have been
I'm
like
like,
a. I think he might be like a half brother. I'm not. I don't remember 100%.
well, from what we've seen so far, I don't think so.
I don't
But
think he is, but maybe I'm misremembering it from the reboot that they did.
maybe.
Uh,
But I'm just kind of like,
so,
why would you do that to your own sister?
so what did you think when this part showed up?
Uh, I did that and I paused it for a second and I was like, oh, so this is gonna be one of those enemies.
You're like, yeah, bow, chicka, bow, wow. You're like,
Well,
come on, brother, I'm stuck in the washing machine. Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
oh my god.
Come
No,
on,
I did not think that, but
come on, step bro.
oh my god.
Like, you're my sister. You're my sister.
Goodness.
Which
Goodness gracious.
I forgot. I totally forgot this was a thing.
Well, and it's also kind of weird too because he doesn't do it to any of the other girls.
No, he doesn't.
Like, so that's another thing that makes it kind of weird.
Uh huh. Yeah. How so?
It just makes it weird that he doesn't do any of that to any of the other girls, but he does it to his own sister.
Yeah, it is a little weird.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you. Because I mean, the other girls are pretty attractive. You know, they're attractive '80s anime women.
Well, and I'm sure, like, we don't know the full extent of how far they have to strip down to get into these, but I mean,
I think I don't remember exactly. I don't remember exactly how far they do get into
but
their clothes.
but if the creators wanted to be a little more perverted, I mean, obviously they could all be wearing like lingerie to get into them because
True,
one
and
of them
it's
owns the
such
shop.
it's such like an odd thing
Yeah.
to put into the anime, but then it kind of just gets glossed over. I feel like.
Now, let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that this has anything to do with like old day Japanese culture where like you can date your first cousin and things like that, but maybe they kind of wanted to make it closer to home?
I don't know. I think it might have just been like a joke that they put in that kind of fell flat,
Okay.
to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I was like, are they gonna? What the hell's going on? I'm so
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah. It's something that's kind of jarring, but I feel like I don't remember it ever going past that. Like, I don't remember them, like, getting into more of that. I think it is just him kind of perving out a little bit because he is, like, a teenager.
You don't ever remember him going like. I watched Billy Madison yesterday. You don't remember her going, "Hey, baby, we gonna go out and light some dog shit on fire."
No, I don't think he does that because he's kind of more like the technical support side
Yeah,
of their operation.
yeah. And it's
Like,
like, oh goodness.
he sits there and watches the police scanners.
Yeah. When I move, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of weird. And then we move on to where they go to the lingerie store finally.
Mm-hmm.
And Sylvia actually shows the other girls, which I thought this was kind of funny, where she's like telling them like, "Hello, ladies," like trying to
Like,
be
hello.
inconspicuous on it.
Yeah, I love when they're looking at the lingerie and they're picking up. It's like, oh, this is nice, you know. And then they're like, oh, we're looking for something, and here we got a job. They say, and like they're like, yeah, we'll get paid like $20 million, I think it was.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah,
like, man, this underwear is expensive.
yeah. To cover it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. I was like, that's pretty funny.
It was really funny, and what comes up next is even funnier, I feel like. So they end up going to, I guess, to Celia's house, and they're talking about like what they actually should do because they ended up getting this job offer, and they're like, yeah, 20 million, that's a lot.
So I got a question on this part too.
Okay.
So when they left, didn't her brother go to the front to be the checkout person?
I think so.
Because I was sitting there, I was like, don't you think that's a little weird for women?
Yeah, probably.
I'm
I mean,
like, I'm just
I
thinking, like, if you uh, like ever having to go with like an ex or something like to Cupid's or something, not Cupid's, what's it called? Victoria's Secret,
yeah,
and it makes me think like, I never see men in there. Like,
never.
it's
Unless
weird.
unless they're being dragged around with their girlfriend, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So I
Yeah.
was like, he's checking him out. What the hell?
I don't know because I don't remember him being in there at all.
Right, right.
I guess I have to
And
go
if he
back and
and
watch it.
if he's so techie, like, hello, aren't there like dressing rooms? It looked like there were dressing rooms.
Yeah, there were dressing rooms.
So I mean, why cameras?
I think there is a thing where he kind of like I think he might put cameras or something around at one point. I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
He does something which was kind of skeevy. And I
Oh
don't remember
Jesus.
what it is. I don't remember what it is. We'll have to find out. going forward.
We'll have to find out.
It's just like I said, it's just one of those little things where like, oh, it's a weird joke that I feel like doesn't really land
Yeah,
exactly. You know,
yeah. Because
yeah,
the part after this is where we see what's her name, Riz,
Pris,
Pris.
yeah,
Yeah, where we see Pris and she's eating a hamburger, which I do have to say, even though this is very enjoyable, there are a couple lines that I don't feel like just make sense, and this is one of them that caught me off guard.
What was that?
Where clearly Leon is looking at her and he's like, "Hey, you want me to get you a burger?" And she's like,
I already
"Yeah,
got
I
one.
already got one." And I'm like, "Isn't he sitting there like looking at her
Maybe he
having
was.
this
Maybe he was like,
burger?"
"Hey, you want me to get you another burger?" And this happens actually, I believe, after that scene you're talking about. I believe happens after the Boomer incident. It happens that night, I believe.
Oh, I thought it happened the night
No,
after.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And Leon's a running thing in this. He actually gets his own spin-off later on. There is an
The
80
hell?
there is an 80 police anime as
Yeah.
well. It's actually a prequel series to this series. Then there's another one for the reboot as well, which is the same thing basically. But yeah, Leon tries so hard trying to pick Pris up.
Yeah, he does.
Like he tries really hard, and he just doesn't get anywhere. I think
Yeah.
I think they do eventually end up dating for a while. Because I think that's how they get a lot of their information from the boomers.
Yeah.
Or trying to, because I know Nene, I think is a dispatcher with the police.
Oh yeah, because we don't know any of that stuff.
Yeah, well, we see Nene as a dispatcher. I think in the first episode, it's like a scene. She's like, if it was a dispatcher, does like tech stuff for the police.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Lena does, but yeah, they get a lot of their information from the AD police. Like they funnel it out of, I believe, their operation and stuff.
Yeah.
I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, no, that scene, I feel like that scene was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I liked it. I liked the interactions between Pris and Leon. Like, because it's just funny. Because she's like the straight woman, and he's like the goofy. Like, hey, he's trying to be cool. Like, hey, come on.
Yeah.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
That's true. I can definitely see him being that kind. Yeah, and I mean just that whole scene. I also like where she kind of tells him off,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, hey," and this is one of the things that I thought was pretty crazy because him being like a government official and like,
Yeah.
"Hi, I'm Leon. Da 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 da. I'm a government official that works for blah blah," blah," and I'm like, and she was like, "Yeah, it's on your jacket, dumbass," or whatever. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, why would you tell anybody like what your position was already?" Like,
Well, he also kind of fanboys out at the moment as well.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
he's like, because he was at the show eating a parfait, and he had to leave because of the Boomer incident
yeah,
and stuff. So like he's a big fan of hers, and he's like, man, I'm making friends with the Pris, you know. And she's like, yeah, you're not doing such a hot job at this,
yeah, yeah,
you know. But after that, we move back into where they're at, talking about what they're going to do. They end up going to talk to the Universal Space Federation or whatever it was called. I forget what it was called. It was like the USSF, I think it was called.
yeah, something weird like that.
So it was something weird. And they're like, so they send Celia and Nene. They get on a bus
In their suits.
in their suits. And they're sitting in the, which is such a funny scene. Like
Yeah,
they have
everybody on the bus is like, "What the hell?"
like what the hell's going on with this, you know?
Yeah,
And they get there, they get to the government base or the whatever, and they go up to the gate, and the scene with the guard at the front is hysterical because they're like, yeah, we have a meeting, and they're like, he just draws his gun, and
Yeah.
he's like, don't move out or I'm gonna shoot you, like very like Barney Fife, I feel like.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh.
if people get that reference nowadays,
They should.
they should, hopefully,
They
right?
should.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe. But yeah, it's funny. Then he calls him. And he's like, "Oh, you do have a meeting, you know?" And they go in, and even the people who are at the government facility who asked them to show up are shocked. One, they're shocked that they're women
Yeah.
because I guess they didn't know that they were women. Even like you can't tell by the breastplates that they wear for their.
Well, and the funny thing is, and this is where Nene tells them, and
Yeah,
she says, yeah, this armor's fitted to us or whatever, and you're
yeah.
like, and they still didn't know that they were women?
Yeah, because it's like yeah, don't like judge the measurements or something like that. Is what she says.
Yeah.
She kind of flirts with the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
But I was
funny.
like, the hell?
Yeah, like they couldn't tell the. I feel like the men in this show are kind of incompetent,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the women are written very strong at times.
I agree.
Which is fun. It's a fun juxtaposition, because
Yeah.
mostly we see strong men, and we do see strong women too, you
Yeah.
know. But it's all about the women,
Right.
and
Right.
we find out that the Space Federation is looking for this girl who got abducted, and as they're talking about this and wanting the Knight Sabers to take on this job, they're trying to study the hard suit technology
Yeah.
and possibly steal it for themselves, which doesn't go over good at all.
Yeah. Well, and when they get done with this meeting, this is one of my favorite parts where they have the camera
Mm-hmm.
and the girls are already like, yeah, like they knew that the camera was looking at them.
Yeah.
And then one of them like uses like a little laser thing and draws like a face.
Oh, yeah, it draws a face on the ground
Yeah,
that says
and then
suck it or something.
and then they walk underneath the thing and the armor comes off and then they're just continue walking and
Yeah.
it's like nobody can put two and two together like
Nobody.
that they took it off and put it in the van and then kept walking.
Yeah. Which happens like at the end of this too. Like
Yeah.
Leon doesn't put it together later on,
Yeah.
but they
But
move on. Go ahead.
but I also think it's kind of crazy because we see this little symbol thing that they put down
Mm-hmm.
again, and I was like, I'm confused. What is that reference to?
I think it's just something that Nene draws.
Well, it's when we see the little girl again. And the
Yeah.
little girl says she draws it.
Yeah, I think she sees the symbol and she drew the symbol.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Because we'll get into it later
Yeah.
on. I think she's connected into something to where she's able to see that picture.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we leave from there and the gang, the Night Sabers, start to go do a little bit of reconnaissance. Lena goes to a bar. Pris goes to a nightclub. I don't remember what the other two do. I don't know if they do anything. They're probably, doing something. And they're not really having a lot of luck. And one of the people Pris asks is I think he was a part of the kidnapping.
Yeah.
I think, or maybe somebody in the misheard Pris asking about it, and this guy goes off, and he ends up in this place where there's a dead body, and we find this guy named Bogey, who is the leader of this group of kidnappers who has kidnapped this young girl named Charlotte. And they're like, "Yeah, somebody's looking for you." And he's like, "Oh, well, let's go pay him a visit." And he ends up kidnapping Pris out of a telephone booth, and he knocks her out, and she knows that they're boomers, and they go to take her.
Were they both boomers or just the one big guy?
I think they were all boomers.
Because I didn't think the little guy was a boomer when that stuff happened. When she flipped the car.
Yeah, I believe maybe he wasn't. I don't know. Which
Yeah.
I have to say, I like the scene where she overtakes the car and makes the car flip over.
Yeah,
That was a cool scene because I like it. And she's like, "Man, can't y'all have like a good car wreck?" And then like the car just blows up behind her, and she's like has this shock pose, like, "Oh, I didn't expect that to happen."
Yeah.
In which the boomer shows up and she steals this motorcycle, and I'm gonna say this a lot. I love the animation in this. It's top notch. When she goes,
I knew it. What a goober.
She goes to run over the boomer and like drives up him like a ramp.
Yeah.
Well, there was one thing I didn't catch the first time watching it. I thought I didn't know that the other guys went ahead to where they were supposed to meet them. So when we got to the Aqua City, which is a part of the city, or it's like a base or something, I can't remember exactly what it was. The little girl's there, and I'm like, oh, because the boomer was chasing Pris, and I was like, how did Pris know to go there? And I was like, oh wait, they told her they were going to Aqua City.
Yeah, when she was faking it.
Yeah, when she was faking, like I missed that, and I was like, why? Because I didn't put two and two together watching it the first time. I was like, why is the little girl there? How did the little girl end up there?
That's great.
I forgot that they mentioned that the half of the group went up ahead of time.
Yeah.
Which I was confused.
That's so funny.
I was confused.
That is so funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get there. She meets Charlotte, and Charlotte has drawn a map of Tokyo.
Yeah.
With the little symbol. She's like, oh, I know that symbol, Pris says. And she's like, oh, let's get you back to your mama and your papa. And Charlotte's like, I don't have those things.
Oh my god, yeah, this part was so fucking morbid. Yeah, I don't have that.
I don't have that.
What? But how she says it specifically makes it sound like, I don't know, like there's a certain way she says it and you're just like, the fuck?
Yeah, because we haven't gotten clued in on at the moment.
She's like, what are those or something?
Yeah, like, what are those? What are those? I don't have that, is what she says. Because we don't get clued into it until later on in this episode. But Charlotte's a boomer.
Yeah.
And Genon is trying to get Charlotte back, but the boomers took her. I don't remember why the boomers took her, but they did.
You know why they took her.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't remember why.
Because she's a boomer. That's why they took her.
But I don't remember if they say why they took her. They just said like they took her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, they probably want boomers' rights or something.
Boomers' rights? Tell me more about boomers' rights, Mike.
Well, you know, I feel like boomers aren't they're second-class citizens almost. You know, they don't have rights. They probably don't have the right to vote. You know, they probably can't drive. You know, they probably can't.
Because aren't they more like androids?
Yeah, they're like android robots type of thing. But they look like people.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like sentient, basically, from what I remember.
And so this really, like, throughout the whole thing gave me a lot of vibes on, like, oh, shoot, what is it? The robot one, iRobot.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a lot like iRobot.
Yeah. That's what it really made me think about. Like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and and I was like,
we want to do all this stuff. Yeah, no, I can see where you're getting that connection from.
We want the sentience.
Yeah, which, you know, I mean, we don't exactly know why the boomers are going berserk and killing people. We do know that Genon is covering it up. like they're covering up a lot of the stuff that, like, oh, we're not responsible, and they're a lot of times they're getting back the technology that they took that was malfunctioned.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
nobody really knows about it, kind of thing. It's like it's very swept under the rug type of thing.
yeah.
Um, but the other boomers show up, and this is where shit gets real. They start
Really
beating.
real.
Start beating up on Chris. On Pris. Sorry, on Pris, and she tries to take a couple of them out with her hidden gun that she puts together. I love the scene where she like shoots them, and then she shoots the female boomer, and like she like spits out the bullets. I thought that scene was really really cool.
I feel like I miss seeing that.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because I saw her take the gun out and fire it, but I don't ever remember seeing the female one spitting it out.
Yeah, she like gets shot, I think like twice or something, and she collapses to the ground and starts like vomiting like this yellow liquid,
Yeah.
and then like bullets come out of her mouth.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because they like I don't think they heal, but like they are like impervious almost to like I guess a certain caliber of um like bullets, like guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say.
That makes sense because later on, whenever we see Leon pop back out
Yeah,
and he has that whatever the gun thing like,
the laser gun thing.
yeah, I mean he's like knocking them out left and right.
Which we didn't. We mentioned it. Like he followed Pris
Yeah,
in his cop car to the location.
which
But
we finally get to see what the inside of the cop car looks like.
yeah, it's cool. It's a cool car. I like that the little flaps open to make his car go faster.
Yeah, I thought that was so cheesy.
I know, but I like it.
I was watching that. I was like, the hell?
Yeah, like the flaps open on the back and the front, and like he goes faster. He's like more
Yeah.
aerodynamic.
Yeah, I thought that was so cheesy,
And
but
like I was like,
I thought it was cool too.
I don't think that makes it aerodynamic.
It does now, buddy.
But yeah, he shows up and he helps out. No, I believe the Knight Sabers show up first, and then he helps out later when Pris is running from the boomers. Which he has a cool scene. I like him with the big giant laser gun thing that he got.
Yeah, because Leon comes in. Leon comes in after that because it's kind of almost like they're getting their asses kicked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's only the three of them. It's not all four of them.
Yeah, and that's when Pris goes to the van to get out her stuff, and the motorcycle guy.
Yeah.
Which kind of gave me like Appleseed feels.
Yeah, a little bit.
And at the same time is like when Leon comes out with the big gun and it's, he's taking some of them out.
He's like, so how do you like our first date? And she's like, just help me out here.
Yeah, it was cheesy as hell.
No, he was trying to be Mr. Cool so hard.
Yeah, it was.
But it's funny because like later on when she gets her armor and stuff, like he's just sitting back like smoking a cigarette, watching the fight happen.
Yeah.
He's not even like helping.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I gotta take a smoke break.
Yeah. Well, and then we get that little scene coming up where he says that whole first date thing, and she goes, well, today you finally did something
to help people.
To help people or whatever. After when we saw them earlier, she said he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything. But,
so I thought that was funny.
Yeah, no, it was really funny. But we go from that, so we see the main boomer guy transforms and takes over the dead boomer guys. It becomes this really big hodgepodge of like technology and like grows like almost kaiju size.
Yeah.
Which, that was so cool.
And it just keeps like, which I felt like it was more like him absorbing like the metal and stuff as it moved.
Yeah.
Because it looked like they were fighting on concrete at first, but then you kind of tell it's on like metal and crap. because
Yeah,
they've moved to a roof.
I think he's like grabbing like the technology and like the metal and stuff to make himself bigger and stronger.
Yeah,
I think. But yeah, and so Pris ends up showing up with their motorbike, and it transforms and becomes an armor over her armor. And I was like, that is so cool. No wonder she loves this bike so much. I mean, we did see it transform at the beginning into like a
yeah,
robot, but it didn't really do anything, you know.
not really.
But we see Pris goes in while the other two, Lena and I forgot what her name was, Cilia, like kind of distracted because Nene's not really a fighter. She's more like technical support or like almost like tech defense for the Knight Sabers. She could kind of hold her own, but she wasn't really in this fight. Um, they
Yeah, they're kind of more broken up. Like each member has like their own strengths and weaknesses and
yeah,
stuff. Because some of them you can tell like the suit is more geared towards like
fighting.
melee stuff,
Yeah, because at one point that
and
one of them pulls out like a sword.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think it was Celia who pulls out the sword. If I
yeah.
remember
Well, and
correctly.
in her armor, she's also got the gauntlet things that
Yeah,
explode, which
that
I thought those
was
were pretty cool.
that was Lena. Lena had the gauntlets.
Oh,
Uh,
Lena's the kind of greenish suit.
yeah, Lena's like the greenish suit with the they're like big like ribbon things or cables that come off the back.
Okay,
Yeah,
I thought that was Sylvia whenever because I thought Sylvia was the one that went to when they went to go see the Star Space
that
Fleet
she is
people.
Cilia. Her name is Cilia.
Yeah.
Cilia is the one who went to go. She's the one with like the swords in her arms. That's her. She has like kind of I think the grayish white suit
Okay,
and
because
the green.
I thought those were the same suits.
No, I mean, I guess you could say they kind of do get a little confusing
Yeah,
because like Nene's is even blue as well, but I mean hers is a little different aesthetic wise than the rest of them.
yeah,
But I can see why how you can get them mixed up in these scenes.
yeah,
Um, but Pris ends up killing this big or destroying the inner workings, I guess you could say, of the boomer. And she gets like spat out and whatnot. And the boomer starts to go for oh god, I just lost her name. Was it Catherine?
the girl.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
It's Catherine. Yeah, they starts to go for Catherine and they find out, oh my god, Catherine's a boomer.
Yeah,
And what happens?
she's got them growing out of her legs.
The boomer technology goes to her and starts going inside of her. And we get kind of flashbacks of her connected to some kind of machinery. It's very
Yeah,
it's very fast. These flashbacks are, and then we see the Genon helicopter show up, and we don't know what they say, but they speak into like this like walkie-talkie thing, and a satellite opens up and blows everything up in that area.
yeah,
Because what they mentioned earlier on is there's like hundreds of these satellites, these defense satellites up in
yep.
orbit, just in case if they need them.
You'd think that they would give like one of those to like Leon's group or something,
Yeah,
but they don't.
they don't. I don't know if they took control of it from the Space Force,
Yeah,
like they hacked into it or something exactly. Because I think the
yeah,
Space Force has control over the satellites.
yeah.
I think, and so
I think so too.
everything. Go ahead. What?
I think so too.
Uh, but everything blows up. They get away, and they're like, "Hey, like, do you think we can still get that 20 million?"
Right.
I don't think they get the 20 million at all. But the rest of them end up packing up. Pris is about to leave. Leon shows up, which Leon looked like he was running for his life.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how he made it out of that explosion, but he did. He made it out.
He's got super Leon powers.
He got super Leon powers, I guess. Yeah,
Yep.
which was seeing him because I thought he was already gone, but it was funny to see him show up at the end, still trying to get a date with Pris, still trying his
Well,
hardest.
by implying that they had a date.
By
Yeah.
applying they had a date and they were going to have a second date,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, which I think it's funny. Like he kind of starts to question, like, hey, was Pris or is Pris one of the Knight Sabers? You know, and that's kind of where this episode ends on a cliffhanger. Like, oh, what exactly happened to the girl? You know, why
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff like that. You know, it was very much left open ended and stuff like that. You know, like, oh, what's next? Um, Let me ask you, as a first time viewer, what did you think of this first episode?
I don't know.
How do you not know?
I enjoyed stuff in it, and I enjoy like stuff like how it was like with the writing being and everything,
Uh-huh.
and the armor and things like that. But there are parts of it I don't know if there's just a disconnect because of like how old it is, or
Mm-hmm.
if it was just a disconnect because of how weird it was.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
I guess I can see that because they don't really 100%. A lot like the first episode of Gungrave that we watched. It doesn't 100% like spell things out for you.
Yeah.
It just gives you like tidbits,
Yeah.
I would say. And, and will be expanded upon more later on. There weren't like, oh, we're not getting a flashback episode. I will tell you that next time. No flashback episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was very curious to like hear your thoughts on it and like what you would think of it, because I obviously love it.
It was long.
It was 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then you're like sitting there and I'm like, if I had to watch two of these, like, man, where would I find the time?
I watched it twice today.
It's a lot.
I watched it when I woke up, and I watched it like an hour before we started recording.
That's like 2 hours of your life, right there.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought it was pretty good, everything else, but yeah, I just felt there was like and I don't want to say like it's anything with the story or whatever. I really feel like it's more so how it was cut and presented,
Mm-hmm.
because of like that first part where it's almost like they tried to assume like you knew about the girls already,
Yeah.
and we know nothing. And then just some of the other stuff like going through it. Of course, like the whole boomer thing like throws me off no matter what. But
Yeah.
that's something you just kind of got to know that you're going to have to get around with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like it was fine.
Yeah.
I just got done watching it, and I was like, man, it was good, but I'm ready. I'm glad that it's done.
You're glad that we only watched one episode?
Oh yeah, I don't think I would have made it too.
Well, it's funny because there's 8 episodes and each episode is a different length. So like the next episode is only 28 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like it jumps around in like episode length. And I think the last one is like it's like a 45-minute episode too. So like they're not all like 2 episodes.
52.
I think. I don't remember exactly.
It's 45, 28, 26, or 28, 38, 43, 49, 49, 52.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's weird seeing because these released like, I don't remember if they did like 1 a year or it was like 2 a year they did.
Yeah.
So like they didn't come out like one after another real fast. It took a couple of years to actually make these.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see like what your thoughts are when we end this series
Yeah.
because it was supposed to be longer and it got canceled.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was supposed to be longer. I don't remember how many episodes it was supposed to be.
I
But
mean, but they have a lot of related stuff off of them, too.
yeah, no, they do. Like it became like a fairly successful franchise.
This one thing says there's even a role-playing game.
There is, which I want to track down and try to find.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I want to play Pris.
I mean, I only think it probably got the one book because that's all I've ever been able to find. But the
Yeah.
book is like kind of expensive and out of print. So we'll see how it is. But yeah, I really like this episode. I like the series.
Yeah.
I do admit that this episode does have faults, but I feel like a lot of the positive points make up for that. Like being the one of the negatives being like, we don't know much about the girls.
Yeah.
And we don't even get to know all the girls, and like Lena doesn't even get named in this episode. Yeah. We don't even know anything about Lena. But I mean, I love it. I gotta give it a 5 out of 5. Like, I'm a sucker for the 80s aesthetic. It's just me.
Nerd.
I know I'm a nerd.
I'm gonna go with a 4.
I mean, I feel like that's fair.
So
I feel like that's a fair rating.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to watching more of it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
That way I can put it under my belt and be like, hey, I've seen Bubblegum Crisis.
I've seen Bubblegum Crisis.
Have you?
And they'll look at you and be like, what?
Well, and it's also good, too, just to be able to, because I know, like, how much you've talked about it before, and actually be able to put, like a name to a face. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because, like, I've heard you talk about it, but I've never seen it, so it's like I don't exactly know if you, like, make a joke about it or anything. I don't know what you're making a joke about, but now it's kind of like, if it's based off the first episode, I will. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's cool, like, I've seen some of Gungrave, but, like, a lot of it I'm going in blind on because I don't remember. And a lot of this you're going blind on it. So, like, it's like we get to watch one of each other's like favorite animes,
and at least we both know that they're going to be somewhat good, instead of like that one time where we watched the the thing that was like Red Riding Hood, where they
Jinro?
had like the Jinro, yes.
Oh god, Jinro.
And we both got into it and we're like, did you know that this was going to be crap? No, I didn't know it was going to be crap. What do you think? Yeah, I also think it's crap. At least, like, these two, like, we know from one another that it's good because we both like them, versus that one we went in blind and thought it was going to be good, and it was hella crap.
Yeah, that one was, or what was the other one? Night at the Galactic Railroad wasn't terrible, but it was a little underwhelming.
I don't know if I even remember what that one was.
That's the one with the cats. They get on the train.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that one.
And then they find out that they're dead.
That was confusing as shit.
Oh, I'm still confused about it this day. To this day, I'm still confused about that show.
And then you were like, yeah, did you know it wasn't actually ever completed? The fuck?
Yeah. I did. I enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to rewatching this again. And I hope everybody checks it out and watches it. It's readily available. You can watch it on Retro Crush, Crunchyroll, Peacock. I think Tubi has it as well. So it's readily available. You can buy it. It's still in print to this day. They just released a new Blu-ray of it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun show. It's fun to go back and watch the older stuff to, see how far you've come. in your anime journey, I feel like.
Or to see how more modern day anime is really fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, because there is definitely some of the more modern stuff that we've covered. Like at some point, you're just like, I don't like this. Like I don't get it. Like yeah, it had a cool fight scene, but no.
Yeah.
So at least this one's like entertaining and it gives you like that own like it's something new in a world and you like are still discovering stuff versus like those ones where like you feel like the first 5 minutes you know everything and now
Mm-hmm.
we're just you know
Yeah.
um unrolling like parts of it and it just doesn't seem like it gets any better.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, but I would love to hear people's thoughts. Have they watched it before? Do they want to watch Bubblegum Crisis? Comment on our Spotify account. Leave a comment on there. Let us know what you think about it. Or if you think, hey, I don't want to watch this old anime. It's too old for me to watch, you know?
yeah, or tell us about one of those times when you probably got gum in your sister's hair.
Yeah, yeah. You had a
Because
Bubblegum Crisis.
that too is a bubblegum
It
crisis.
is a Bubblegum Crisis. Uh, But yeah, I'll say thanks for listening to everybody out there. Hope you guys enjoyed these past couple of episodes. Rate and review the podcast. Tell your friends. Share the podcast. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay
as
safe.
as always, we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.